The Battle of ZALLAKA, or SAGRAJAS, took place in the southern part of Al-Andalus on October 23, 1086. It is said that the battlefield was named after the slippery conditions caused by the large amount of bloodshed that day, making it difficult for the warriors to maintain their footing. Al-Andalus was under the rule of the Umayyad Caliphate for a long period after the Muslims conquered it during the reign of Al-Walid ibn Abd al-Malik. After the fall of the Umayyad Caliphate, Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil established an Umayyad emirate in Al-Andalus, which lasted for nearly 3 centuries. Eventually, it fragmented into small states and regions, with each ruler controlling a portion of the land. This period became known as the Era of the Andalusian Kings. The rulers became preoccupied with their own internal disputes and conflicts, which emboldened their enemies, the Christian Spaniards, who were lying in wait for an opportunity to strike. Toledo, which was ruled by the Beino di Naun, fell into the hands of Alfonso VI, the Christian king of Castile, after the Andalusian kings failed to come to its aid. Their inaction was due to their fear of Alfonso VI and the treaties they had signed with him. Some rulers even went as far as to pay tribute to Alfonso in exchange for his agreement not to attack them or their territories. While the Andalusian kings were divided and conspiring against one another, sometimes even allying with the Christians to maintain their own power, the Christians had already begun to unite under a common cause: the elimination of the Islamic presence in Al-Andalus. In Al-Andalus, voices rose, calling for an end to personal conflicts, the abandonment of selfish interests, and the appeal for help from the Almoravids, whose power had grown at that time on the opposite side of the Mediterranean. Scholars and jurists in Al-Andalus called for unity and emphasized the necessity of seeking help from their Muslim African brothers, the Almoravids. This call resonated with the rulers of Al-Andalus, especially as the threat of Alfonso VI's aggression grew. Despite warnings directed at the Andalusian kings, cautioning them against the potential ambitions of the Almoravids in Al-Andalus, one of the most famous responses came from Al-Mu'tamid ibn Abd, who famously said, "It is better to be a camel herder in the Sahara under the Sultan of Marrakesh than a swineherd in the wilderness of Castile." The Almoravid armies began crossing from Ceuta to Algeciras, and on Thursday, June 30th, 1086, their leader, Yusuf ibn Tachfin, led them across. The troops then marched towards Seville, with Ibn Tachfin at the head, and from there, they advanced to Badajoz, where the Andalusian kings and their forces gathered as well. Meanwhile, the Castilian king, Alfonso VI, was not unaware of the movements of the Islamic armies. He corresponded with the Christian rulers in other parts of Spain and southern France, seeking their assistance. Gathering a large army, Alfonso VI is said to have remarked upon seeing his forces, "With this army, I will fight both humans and demons, and even the angels." The Battle of ZALLAKA, or SAGRAJAS opinions, differed regarding the size of the two armies, but all agreed that Alfonso VI had a numerical and military advantage. Every condition seemed to be in his favor. Preparations took place in both camps, with encouragement for perseverance and bravery in battle. The bishops and monks did their part for the Christian side, while the Muslim jurists and worshippers made every effort to inspire the soldiers. Alfonso advanced with his army towards the Muslims, and a fierce battle ensued. The Andalusian forces bore the brunt of the initial assault. At this crucial moment, Yusuf ibn Tachfin sent his troops into the heat of the battle. He then personally led his reserve forces in a strong attack on the Castilian camp, fiercely assaulting it. He also targeted the rear of Alfonso's army, causing great destruction and setting it ablaze. By sunset, King Alfonso VI, wounded in the battle, was forced to retreat to save his life and the lives of the few remaining soldiers. The battle lasted only 1 day. Spanish sources agree that Alfonso VI narrowly escaped with only around 500 knights from his once massive army, which he had boasted could defeat humans, jinn, and angels alike. News of the decisive victory spread throughout Al-Andalus and Morocco, bringing joy to the people. This day became a celebrated moment in Islamic history, not just on the Iberian Peninsula, but across the entire Muslim world. The victory extended the presence of Islam and the Muslims in Spain for nearly 4 more centuries. After the Almoravids returned to Africa, the Andalusian kings of Al-Andalus resumed their internal conflicts. This once again provided King Alfonso VI with the opportunity to regroup, heal his wounds, and seek revenge against the Andalusians. His hatred was especially directed toward Ibn Abbad.
Alfonso VI resumed his attacks, focusing his raids on Seville, which forced Ibn Abbad to once again appeal to the Almoravids for help. In response, the Almoravids returned to Al-Andalus for the second time. This time, Yusuf ibn Tachfin took decisive action by arresting most of the Andalusian kings and bringing Al-Andalus under Almoravid rule. This effectively ended the reign of the divided Andalusian king-states, placing the region under the control of the Almoravid dynasty.
Enjoyed the content? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us grow.